everyone, and welcome to this week's Focus Friday Additive Edition. This week I wanted to go over just a quick tip on how the MonteCarlo 3D Nester works. There are a few options, and we'll go over what those options do for the parts here. I have 280 parts. I want a 3D nest on I picked a HP 3200, 4200 printer series workspace. I've purposely made these flywheel parts of the 280 parts here. I've made these a little bigger. I've scaled them up to show what these different features of the MonteCarlo 3D Nester, which is under the arrange ribbon here. We're going to select that MonteCarlo. We'll just leave these the performance at default. And I'm going to show what the arbitrary around Z-axis and the no rotation do when you select them. So let's go ahead and pick arbitrary and start packing here. We'll move this over. And you'll see the parts nest here in a few seconds. So I've gone ahead and we'll stop packing here. And you'll see here that what the algorithm was attempting in the MonteCarlo here was it's going to take all these parts, it's going to try to nest them in the Y, and then also try nesting them in the X-axis. And when the parts are too big, it's going to kick them out. As you see here, it's rotated in the Y and the X a little bit here. And the reason is that it's tried to fit these parts in, and they're too big for the workspace. So as you see here, it's too big in the Y. And then if we were to rotate that and show you here in the X, it's just too big. So what happens is that the parts will just be output to the side to show you that they don't fit. So at this point, just select these parts and just delete them out, and then you have your nest here. And look for another 3D printer that has a bigger envelope here, or cut the parts or scale them down to fit in there. But let's go and see the other choices we have. I'm going to go and undo here. Bring it back to the original state here to show you when we go to MonteCarlo and try around Z. Now around Z here, we're going to select. And if you select that visualize part motion, you'll see the parts actually nesting when they move ahead. Let me just grab this and put this to the side. But around Z is basically taking the parts and rotating just on the top view, the Z-axis of the part. As you see, the parts here are starting to nest. Stop that and close that. And you see here, just going to that top view, it basically took all those parts and just rotated them in the Z, the top view Z. And it didn't fit these parts in, so it threw it to the side. Now if we go back to the original state here of the 280 parts, and we go to MonteCarlo once again, and let's see what happens when we do the no rotation. So the no rotation is not going to rotate any of these parts. It's going to try to fit them in there in the original rotation that you see current. So let's go and select that. Start packing. As you see, it's starting to nest the parts here, and we can go in here and hit stop packing, close, and what it's done, it's no rotation on the geometry there, and you see here that it's the parts are in the original orientation, and it kicked out the large parts. Now if we go back to undo, you can see that they're all in the same rotation there. But just to show that it will 3D nest nice and quick using the MonteCarlo, we can scale these parts back down. And you see we've scaled them down back to a size that would fit in this build envelope if we were to 3D nest these 280 parts here. Let's go back to arrange, back to our MonteCarlo, and try to nest these. Let's just select the default arbitrary and where we have it in performance and start packing. And you see the parts are starting to nest here. We'll let it run 30 seconds. And it's nested the 280 parts here, arbitrarily fit them in here. And if you were to go back and try those other settings there in Monte Carlo, it would do like exactly what we saw earlier. Around Z would move it just in the Z on the top view of the part, and no rotation would keep the original rotation of the part and try to nest those. So I hope this helps in the understanding of what arbitrary, what around Z, and what no rotation are doing when you use the Monte Carlo 3D nester. Once again, thanks for being on this week's Additive Focus Friday Tips Edition. Thank you.